everybody, hope you're doing fine. Here is Brinda again. Today I wanted to talk about how your little contribution can bless others. Let us learn from the story of Jesus feeding 5,000 people. It's in Mark chapter 14 verses 13 to 21, Mark chapter 6 verses 30 to 44, Luke chapter 9 verses 10 to 17, and John chapter 6 verses 1 to 15. Let's watch what happened that day.
Behold the multitude. This is a desert place, and now the time is far past. Send them away that they may go into the villages and buy themselves bread. They have nothing to eat. Give ye them to eat.
Shall we go and buy 200 pennyworth of bread and give them to eat?
How many loaves have ye? 5, and 2 fishes. Bring them to me. Divide the people into companies of 50 that they might be fed. O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, I thank thee for thy bounties. Amen.
So, my learning from this story is, if we read Matthew chapter 14 verses 13 and 14, when Jesus heard what had happened, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. Hearing of this, the crowd followed him on foot from the towns. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them and healed their sick. So, my learning from this is, follow God. Learn to follow Him and His word, whatever be the situation. Follow. When you follow Him, His compassion and healing will follow you. Prepare your heart to follow Jesus. If you have seen Jesus healing the sick or experienced the signs or miracles in your life or in the life of others. So, let us read Mark chapter 6 verses 31. Then, because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, he said them, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." So, my learning from this is, learn to spend time with God. Jesus said, "Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." He will teach you many things when you make time to sit down with the Lord. You should find a quiet place, means state of mind where you can spend time with God. He will give you rest from all your problems. So let us read Matthew chapter 14 verses 19. And he directed the people to sit down on the grass. My learning from this is, know that he will settle you. We see that Jesus made them sit in green grass, though it was late, though it was a remote place, even in famine, and even if it's delayed, he can still make it comfortable for you. His children will flourish even in famine. So let us read Matthew chapter 14 verses 15 and 16. As evening approached, the disciples came to him and said, "This is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so that they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." But Jesus replied, "They do not need to go anyway. You give them something to eat," he says. So my learning from this is, God will ask you to serve his people. Sometimes we may feel it's not our job or duty or responsibility to do certain things, but Jesus says, you do it. The disciples said to Jesus, "This is a remote place and it's already getting late. Send the crowds away so that they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food." But Jesus replies, "They need not go anyway. You give them something to eat." Jesus asks his disciples to help people. So if you're his disciple, be ready to help others. So let us read John chapter 6 verses 8 and 9. Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fishes, but how far will they go among so many?" So my learning from this is, give God whatever you can, even if it's little. God will test you if you have a heart of giving, even when you have very little in your hands. He tests you so that you can be faithful in serving his people when you have plenty. When Jesus said, "Bring them here to me," it means give what you have fully to the work of God. It need not be money alone. It can be your talent, your time, your skills, your gifts, resources, etc., etc. I wonder why Andrew found only the little boy with food. Did no one in the crowd had some food with them? Anyways, I will ask Jesus when I meet him. Let it be a mystery for now. So let us read Mark chapter 6 verses 38. "How many loaves do you have?" Jesus asks. "Go and see." When they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fishes. So my learning from this is, find what you have. Sometimes we may feel we have nothing with us, but Jesus says, go and see. It means we still have something with us, or something within us which you and I can give it to God to bless others. He's just asking us to move, take action and find it out ourselves. And when you cannot find it out yourself, that's when you need a good mentor. And that mentor can be your parent, your teacher, your friend, your spouse, your pastor or your boss. So let us read Mark chapter 6 verses 37. When Jesus answered, "You give them something to eat," they said to him, "This would take more than half a year of wages. Are we going to spend that much on bread and give them to eat?" So my learning from this is, God will test your heart of giving. God can ask something precious from you. He is no debtor of anyone. He does not need your money or help. He just needs a heart that is ready to serve God and mankind. You should know that He can always restore multifold. So let us read John chapter 6 verses 5 and 6. When Jesus looked up and saw a great crowd coming towards him, he said, "Philip, where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked only to test him, for He already had in mind what he was going to do. So, my learning from this is, know that with God all things are possible. Even after seeing so many miracles of Jesus, the disciples forgot that with God all things are possible. Jesus can feed multitudes even without having to spend so much. When Jesus asked Philip, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" Jesus was expecting Philip to say, "Lord, you can provide if you are willing." But Philip replied in John chapter 6 verses 7, "It would cost more than half year of wages." Can God not provide the wages if needed? Now, let us read Matthew chapter 14 verses 19. Taking the 5 loaves and 2 fishes and looking up to heaven, he gave thanks and broke the loaves and then gave them to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the people. So, my learnings from this is, learn to thank God in all circumstances. Jesus teaches us to give thanks in the little we have. Giving thanks multiplies what we have. In this passage, we see that Jesus took the loaves, thanked the God for the little, got it multiplied, gave it to the disciples, then the disciples gave to the people. So, let us read Luke chapter 9 verses 14 and 15. About 5,000 men were there. But he had said to his disciples, "Have them sit down in groups of about 50 each." The disciples did so, and everyone sat down. So, my learnings from this is, he teaches his people management too. Jesus asked his disciples to make 5,000 people to sit in groups of 50 each. They sat in groups of hundreds and fifties. He is a God of order. He asks us also to categorize our commitments in order of purity so that we can meet them with the grace of God. When you get too much money tomorrow, learn what debts to clear first. Learn which people to help first. Not forget giving God again from your surplus. So, let us read Matthew chapter 14 verses 20 and 21. They all ate and were satisfied, and disciples picked up 12 baskets of broken pieces that were left over. The number of those who ate were about 5,000 men, besides women and children. So, my learning from this is, you will have plenty. One boy food helped 5,000 men plus women plus children. Jesus fed them as much as they wanted. All people ate and were satisfied. Disciples picked up 12 baskets of bread and fish that were left over. When you give to God or God-given people or God-given purposes, God gives you abundance and your little will turn into plenty. Finally, a question. John chapter 6 verses 12. When they had all had enough to eat, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over, let nothing be wasted." So, my learning from this is, do not waste your blessings. When Jesus said, "Let nothing be wasted," he meant do not waste your blessings, your gifts, your talent, your time, your skills, your experience, your resources. So, we should learn to fully utilize whatever God has given us so that we can use it for the glory of God and for the service of mankind. So, kids, do not waste your food. So, let us summarize our learnings. First, follow God. Second, learn to spend time with God. Third, He will settle you. Fourth, God will ask you to serve His people. Fifth, give God whatever, even if it's little. Sixth, find what you have that you can give to God. Seventh, God will test your heart of giving. Eighth, know that with God all things are possible. Ninth, Learn to thank God in all circumstances. 10th, God blesses you to bless others. 11th, He teaches people management too. 12th, you will have plenty. 13th, do not waste your blessings. So, what is that you have learned which you can share with the Lord to serve the needy? Let me know. I will be happy to delight in your insights. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, please like it, share it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our FB page. Thank you. Shalom. God bless you. Brinda, Angelina, Nanda, Kumar.